Okay, so I just got up. It's 3:45. But I swear to God, it was like I wasn't even sleeping all night. It was so crazy last night. The energy is so intense. It was so loud. It was like the energy was on a megaphone or something. And then plus I think the people, because I was going, like I had said, I keep going through like these old relationships, and I was thinking so much about him, and I was having all these like epiphanies and stuff, and I was like, oh man, I should just get up and start talking him now. And it wasn't even midnight at that point. And then so I was thinking about getting up then, but I kept trying to sleep longer. Today we were gonna I was gonna take him to the park and go pick up some stuff at the store. Oh, I should have checked to see if my check went in, because that's a social security one. And there's all sorts of shit going on. Like there's and all this stuff is super absurd, and it's to get people's attention. That's what you got to remember. Everything that is happening, you got to remember what it's all about, because otherwise it's very like, what? Um, so in hold on, I just got this cup of tea. I'm tired still, but it's like I can't sleep. It's just too loud. I'm super uncomfortable. Um And and then plus it was like this reflection. That's what I was gonna say. It was like, did I keep hearing that that's what this moon was about? Like you were gonna reflect on the past or something? And so I was like, oh, I might talk about that. And then I got up and I was just on TikTok, and there was some stuff I wanted to talk about too. Pretty sure. God, I feel out of it. Hold on. Oh yeah, I wanted to say though, my stomach, oh God. My stomach, oh, it's something else. All I can think of is it just takes me back to the E. coli. And I'm pretty sure I had said on it about what I was thinking about that, because that was in the water. And it was only it was just a couple years before it was I'm trying to think. I think it was I don't know. I guess it was 2012 or something. It was 3 years before I got divorced. Maybe 2 years before I got divorced. But I got it was out of the water, because I got super sick. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And then and I was just drinking the water, because we lived in Pasadena Park, and I thought, I didn't know that their water was bad, and or that it had issues. But I think some of the shit is made up. That's the thing. I think that they're making shit up, and that they interfere and they do things, and then they blame it on other things. Like they're dumping shit in there, but then they're saying, "Oh, the cows did it." We're trying to get good water for you, but the cows. What are we gonna do? Kill them all? Uh, because these people are psychopaths. That's all I can say. Like everything they do is weird as fuck, and they enjoy getting us sick. And I think that it can be an introduction of something else too. Like what I was saying before, how we all have different things in us. It's kind of like a zoning thing. Like, where have you lived? Where did you get water from there? Where did you, it's this environmental kind of situation that is a part of what the different effects that we have from the different stuff happening. But the way that it is a reintroduction, so it's not like I'm just sick, like I just got sick and I've got the stomach flu or something, because this is what I was trying to get across, and I don't know that I was making it clear. This one person on TikTok, I was like, do you understand what I'm saying? And they didn't say anything. They probably took it as like, oh, she's being rude. But it's like, you really don't know if people understand what you're saying. And the thing about, so I'm going to explain it real quick, so hold on. So when your body's having this reaction, so diarrhea, sneezing, you can't stop that. Coughing, people do everything they can to stop coughing. They stop temperatures, they stop diarrhea, they stop these like allergy medicine is a huge product. I'm sure it's a huge money maker. So they cause your body to go into this reaction stage because it's trying to just get rid of whatever is the toxin. So your body's trying to fight it naturally and do these natural reactions, coughing, sneezing, pooping, eyes running, nose running, all these different things where your body is trying to get rid of something. Even what I'm thinking too is when some people say like they have a lot of body odor, I think that that body odor is a sign that you have a toxin. There's something that needs to be cleaned up, because I don't think body odor, I mean, I think, you know, if you were out sweating and doing a bunch of stuff and getting all dirt, but just like regular, like if you're just sitting around and you're having body odor, then I would say, it's a toxin trying to get out of you. So, and you have to probably help it by flushing it. So so our system, and like I had somebody point out also in my thing, because I was talking about something, because everything is switching off of our flesh and blood. Like all this stuff is changing. Like take notice to that, like the things that are being said. So then now people are like, it's a lymphatic pump system situation. What have I been saying? It's all about this filtering, and it's all micro macro. So everything is also on all stages of development. And so the okay, I gotta go back. So keep having micro macro. So go back. Okay, let me get a drink for a second. Is there is like, I swear it's just loud. There's like, I don't know, there's just like an interference. So hold on a second. Wow, what was I talking about? Okay, well, I'll just have to go to something else and then have it catch up or remind me or whatever. I will say this though, that all the videos I saw this morning, one of them is the fucking face. It's a whole new motherfucking face. And it's in Scotland. This footage is in Scotland, and they were up on the what is that called? They were up on the thing and had this really good footage of the moon. It was really pretty. And then when you zoom in, there's a motherfucking face sitting there staring down behind the moon. And it's not the same face as the other one with those guys, which I haven't been seeing those people's videos of the moon, of that guy. Because that guy's eyes were moving too. And his face was a little tilted. So, but I would just say it's like like a physical representation of the universe, of the watchers or something. But it's fucking freaky still. Like these big giant faces out there. Oh, that was the other thing I was gonna say, something that was freaky. Those faces. Oh, that girl. That girl I've been talking about. Oh yeah, that, man, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so maybe that's why I just gotta go faster. Maybe I linger, I don't know. So, that girl, and her videos are, I don't know, there's something so weird about it all. It's so weird. Because it was like, and I really don't, I have no idea. So it was like she had like 2 or 3 or 4 videos. And it was like the kind of videos of like these girls all do of like put on cute clothes and lip sync and say things and stuff. It's just like, I don't know, it's like a trend of young girls do. And pretty young girls, because this girl was really pretty. And long hair and just a really pretty young girl. And so she had this couple of these videos, but then all of a sudden her videos switch and she looks like some kind of monster. I mean, it's scary looking. Like, it's fucking could be a scary movie nightmare face. It's so scary looking. And then she was saying stuff, and she was telling what was going on, and there's a lot of people following it. And I was trying to put it together when I was looking at all those, but it was like, I'm missing something. So that's why I don't know. There's people out there who go take videos and then they try and put together their own little thing so they get views off of it or something. It's just very strange. There's a lot of shady shit. There's so much shady shit. Another shady thing about the rescue thing. I'm telling you, I knew there was a lot of shady shit, because as soon as I look at it, it's just like you just see it, and I don't know every little detail. It's just like you can see like this overall shady shit, and it's people who do this shady shit. I mean, it's like this desperation amongst humanity and this idolization of money, and in every fucking motherfucking place, looking for a crack, looking for a way to get rich quick, to make it, it's just, it brings this really skeezy side out on people. Super skis, man. And so there's just, like I have been saying, there's like a lot of people who are in the dark. But then when you go to that next level of it, it's like, well, yeah, we had to have these people come in and play out these roles, because look at how it's very impactful. It's like, fuck, man. Jesus. But that doesn't mean that that's these souls, because in our core, we're both. It's like a steering wheel, and then just say, steering wheel does this, but no, it only stuck going right. That's where we're at, is where we've got all these feelers stuck on left. And but it's a part of what's supposed to play out. So everything is the way it's supposed to be. So there's all these levels of it. And when you consider spirituality, it's all these levels that you have to overcome. These are the challenges. That's why I said the challenges are at all different levels. Everybody's at different levels. And I can only speak of my level, because that's the one I'm experiencing. And that was an important part of my realizations that I was having last night, was like, this stuff that I went through, it was like there was no way I could go and steer out of what I was going to go through. But the thing is that going through it and, making it to the end is where you get to express and explain to people how you did it, how you were able to overcome the challenges and stuff. So it's kind of like in the video game scenario, where you're able to advance through some challenges that people find very difficult. And then you're able to explain to them how to get through those challenges. And so it's kind of like that. And then, and nothing is by accident, and surprise my guys, hey, guess what? I'm changing the game. I'm going to do this now. It's like, that's not how it goes. Sorry, you newbies. But, so you go into your life. That's why, so many times people find themselves like, well, I don't even know why I was doing it. I don't know how I was doing it. It just all of a sudden just happened. I couldn't even stop myself. It's because you're on a ride. And the more that you let it sink in and get with the program, the more you can enjoy the ride. The more you are trying to fight it and force it to be what you want it to be. So even these people who are doing this shady shit, it's not like they all of a sudden just came up with it. Oh, well, it's pretty dark in here. I'm going to go shady now. It's like, no, they came in to play these roles. This is the step that was always going to play out. It was always going to show us how dark humans could go, because it's a huge catalyst. It's a huge propellant. It's like a kickoff to us making these changes because it's basically we're kind of repulsed by how low it can go. And so those of us who can clean it up, but it's all set. You know, it's not something you need to stress out about. Everything happens naturally. When things aren't happening naturally and you're trying to force it, that's when you got to try and, ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I trying to force this? What am I trying to do? Where am I trying to get to? Because it goes deeper and deeper, especially for me in my lessons. What is, like 11, 11, 17, it was almost like dangling something, because every opportunity was there for me to become obsessive and to lose my mind and stuff. And so every challenge is for you to uh, uh, grow yourself. Okay, so just saying, so the system, the lymphatic, the filters, the filtering system, and like I had said, that is what our whole thing is. Like, even their system, their filtering system, and their system, and all that is being exposed right now, like all these different things. So what is like kind of okay, so how I'm seeing it, that game at the fair, and those things pop up. And so we have all these things popping up, but what it is, all the things that are popping up are going to be shown how they're connected. And so they're going to bring all this in. And one of my daughters did say something to me yesterday, and all I said was, because she said that she can't believe that some of this bad stuff like that she's hearing about, uh, the diddler. And I said, I said a couple of things, but it wasn't like I was like, I told you so. It was, so I'm just telling you this so it can give you other ideas of how to approach it, because there's going to be lots of opportunities to say, I told you so. And so in a sharp way, I mean, you can say, yeah, I was trying to tell you, like, I was trying to explain it to you, but you weren't understanding what I was saying, is kind of like, to have a deep understanding about the programming, but even deeper about the spiritual, that they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to wake up at this other time, not at that time. And it is waves of awakening. And it has to do with what, your triggers are, what you're here to experience or learn or whatever. And so I call for mission. So then, man, I'm just going to be skipping all over the place. Okay, so she had said about him, and I said something about, when you were thinking, everybody thought I was so crazy, and I was saying all of this stuff that sounded so nuts, and nobody was seeing that stuff. And I said, I think every single family had a person like me. Everyone had somebody in their family, however big the unit is, that is, like the weirdo, the conspiracy theorist, the one that's paranoid or whatever. Like, to me, it has to do with awareness, but it has to do also with, that was a role. We were born for this role. And so we were always going to see the things we saw, the things that were going to interest us. We were always going to be on hyper alert. We were always going to be paying attention. We were always going to want to know why that's going that way. Why are they doing it this way? We were always going to be like a certain question, because that was the institution of that part. It's like when you put us all together, we're all parts. And so it needs all the different parts. So there's all these different people, and it's all spread out. And that is like where you think of like the light bearer or something, and somebody's bringing information so it's bringing light to something. And so I said, I think everybody in their family had these people. And I don't remember if I told her that, but anyways, I just told her that all the crazy shit that I was saying, you're going to find out I wasn't crazy. It was all based on evidence. So I said, just prepare yourself. Like, because the stuff she was hearing was really bothering her. And I was like, you're just getting started, sister. Like, oh, girl, you're just buckle up. Because remember back when I was saying all that crazy stuff and you guys thought I was so nuts and everybody thought there's no way, there's nothing like that could be going on. You know, you're paranoid and get off the YouTube and stuff like that. And I said, but all that stuff, I'd seen all evidence and stuff, all that stuff was true. So just be ready. And now I'm seeing all sorts of stuff popping up about the links between, you know, like I had said, there was no accident all of a sudden when somebody made this slip in this error and said, oh, it's just the Haitian. They're out there eating your animals, just to get people to really be talking and see how they talk about one side. They're talking about these people coming here and eating our precious. See how it's going to flip? See how everything's going to flip? It's like we're blinking the lights. We're getting your attention. You got this word in your mind. You got this situation. But all of a sudden, you're going to see this other side. You're going to see, like, and then where it's coming out, it's like the one guy said, you know, this guy over here is eating his dogs. He's Bosnian. These people over here, they're Venezuela. These people over here, they're from, because in a lot of these other places, they eat cats and dogs and rats and squirrels and like, they eat anything, little critter that they can catch. So, you know, and I don't know if they taste good. I'm not, like, I'm way more of like, I'm leaning way more into like, I'll just eat some nuts for the rest of my life. I don't, like, I'm good. I'm pulling more and more away from food, but I'm still, have to acknowledge my body because my body's still going through it. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say too, because about the sickness. So so your body is responding to the toxin, the bacteria, the whatever you have. They tell us it's bacteria, it's a virus, it's and what we know, there's a lot of the parasites. So you get one of these one of these bugs, and then you get like diarrhea, and then you are sick as fuck, and it just keeps happening over and over and over. And that is because it's a reintroduction. So whatever the thing was that your body's trying to get rid of, you got more of it again. You got more of it again. You got more of it again. And so your body keeps trying to get rid of it. The problem is that people go in and try and stop their body's reaction. And that's what you don't want to do. And that's what they've got people trained to do. Go take some allergy medicine so you dry all this up. Go take some what is that stuff called? Like Pepto-Bismol, because you don't want to have diarrhea and vomiting and stuff like that. No, you got to let your body get the stuff out. I've even learned you're not even supposed to take anything for temperature. That's your body's naturally killing something off. And it has a natural way of doing things that is much more effective than this way, where it creates interference and it puts our system out of balance. Every time we go in and take something that they tell us to take, when you think about that domino situation, how everything in your body has to go through, like that's micro-macro, that's everything. And so your body is doing that too. And what they do is they knock those dominoes down. So you've got jolts and jumps, and you've got all sorts of interference inside of your system. And for me, you have to put it all back into place. And you know, like to me, I feel like I've been putting it back in place for a long motherfucking time. Like, because I got my brain injury in 2009, and then I got my Dark Night was 2015. And you know, and then like when my trigger point was 2017, that's when it put me on this other, it was like that my guides all of a sudden just like, you know, this is what we're doing now. And it was like, I didn't see that coming like, at all. And but they had told me some stuff for a long while. And that is, you know, that goes back to my childhood. That goes back to, you know, going to palm readers and stuff. Like I was told certain things about my life and stuff long time ago. It was, but it was like building blocks. It was all being put together. throughout. And that's what, it's trippy because, like, while sit in reflection, you replay so many things and you look at them and you see them differently. And so I've been replaying a lot of things and having like these epiphanies, and then it's like you can sit back and watch yourself too. You can watch yourself in the past, and oh, what was the one? Because I was watching something and it was like, oh, this is horrible. Yeah, I don't know, because you just see this, like, you can see like this weak sides of yourself, this uh you can see all the different sides. Like, it depends on what you're looking at. Like, you could, where you are or where you're stuck on or whatever. You could be stuck on something that was very about you're impatient or you're conniving. Um, Mine, it seems like it was something kind of like just a desperation. Just there was like such a big part of my life where I didn't care about myself. Like, yeah, like I just, and this is something too that I want to make really clear to people. And I've tried to make it clear, but that you can't go before your time. Like, take it from somebody who lived on the edge in danger, like where people think, well, you got to be so careful, you got to do this, you got to do that, or you could get hurt. No, there's plenty of us who go out and we do all that stuff and we don't get hurt because that's not what we were there to have happen. We were there to go through it and then, look at it and be like, and see yourself, why was I doing that? What did I do? How did I get there? What was I doing that for? So it's a bigger spiritual thing. This isn't just like a game or a race to see who can, dodge a bullet, you know? And when things happen, it's so exactly timed, so exactly perfect. And it's trippy because even when there's a near miss, people think like, oh, that was a near miss to death. No, it was a wake-up call. It was to get your attention. It was for you to realize, like, and to me, it seems like most things are get you to realize this place is magic and you have guides around you and nothing can hurt you until it's the time for you to leave. And even when you leave, it's not going to hurt you. You're going to be escorted right on out of there. And the story is going to just play out for the people. It's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. Like what they say where if you cut, this is what I used to hear. I don't know if it's true. My mom said that this is true, that she used to be on the farm and she would see it all the time. But they would cut the chicken's head off and then the chicken would get down and run around. It took a long time for the chicken to die even without its head. And so I would say it's kind of like that for the body. Like, the soul leaves, but the representation just has a little like, oh, horrible thing happened to it. But it's not the person. It's like the end of the, like the shoes, the gloves, the spacesuit, because that's what you're looking at, is like this spacesuit thing. But when you go on to a spiritual sense of it, the spacesuit is representing what the being inside is there to work on. That's what I have noticed. Like, everything in your physical body will represent to you something that you need to focus on. And people just aren't in the habit of paying attention in that certain way yet. And then, they'll just get mad at their body or something. Like, for me, that with this, whatever, this E. coli, fog sickness, whatever the fuck, because now I'm suspicious of my water, if they've messed with that, like, I don't know. But Debbie, Vortex had said to, try the bentonite clay with water. And so it's like 8 ounce glass, just glass of water and then like a half teaspoon of that. And so I did that yesterday. So I'm going to see this morning how my stomach goes if it, because if that's like a carrier agent kind of thing, like the charcoal. So if all of the, if there was like, because I know that my stuff, like the black seed oil and my teas and stuff like that, I know that that kills a lot of stuff. But maybe if there was a lot of stuff to be killed, that it sits in there and then it has to have a carrier to get it out of you. I don't know. There's a lot of complications to this whole thing. And it's always so trippy because it's like we're not really flesh and blood. But it's like, oh yeah, because I wanted to say this is to the people who are in areas that they feel like, well, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be here. And even when all this stuff is happening, it still feels like I know I'm supposed to be here. And, because there has to be people who are there as the ones that, are rescuing me. Like, there's many people who go in and get people out of houses. Like, all the disasters, there's always got to be people who are rescuing. So there's people who are in areas because there's rescuing that needs to be going on. So it's not just all people who have no awareness. The people who have no awareness, they're going to be hit the hardest because they're not going to see it coming. The people who are there for to help people, they have more of an awareness, more of a plan, more of a like, watch out, thinking about like the things you need and stuff like that. Like you may need to think about bandages, batteries, flashlights, radio, like different things. One thing too is I would be looking for regular old maps, because if the internet goes down and you're having to try and walk and go to places, like there will be some ways that you can just follow the freeways and stuff, because there's going to be so much lockdown. I think it's going to be just like in the movies where they show there's just cars scattered, people walking and stuff like that. And but when I travel around on the back highways and stuff, I was like, man, they really got us all hooked on this navigation thing, and people don't learn the roads anymore. And so it would just be good if you had an idea of roads, like people who are dependent on all of this AI stuff are going to have a harder time. And it all has to do with awareness, because all that dependency is like you giving over. So you have more time to look at your phone or more time to scroll or whatever it is. So, but it underdevelops people. So that is going to be a big part of what people are going to have to deal with when things go down, is these parts of themselves that are underdeveloped or that they don't know, or handicapped basically. And but remember, because when you are there as a rescue person and stuff, I think it's important to keep remembering that nothing can hurt you. Like, even if you see, you got to go into like this matrixy kind of thing when you're going into a possible disaster. They've showed this in the different movies, like Free Guy, the sunglasses people, Matrix. I think they're the sunglasses people. The what was the other one? Because I was seeing another one. Oh yeah, the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, where I can't remember what that movie is called. It's not Insidious, but it's something like that. And but that is these realities crumbling and going into another reality. And that is what you have to get in your mind. Like, all of the things that are crumbling aren't real. It's like pictures, but it feels really real to us because we're in this three-dimensional thing. So like when you go to a three-dimensional movie and the fist comes out like that, and it's like, whoa, because it feels so real. That is what we're in this game. So we get this real feeling. So when you are whatever it can be, and a lot of shit can go down in disasters. Pieces of building falling, and you got to see yourself more of as a superhero. Like, this can't hurt me, nothing can hurt me, and get that in your mind. You know, none of this stuff can hurt you. It's not real. The thing that hurts the people is because in our minds we haven't gotten that pulled free from that, and so when something happens, it's like, oh, that's I'm gonna die. And so then, but that's been a part of what the storylines were. Now the storylines are changing. Now humans are beginning to learn that that was like a game, and now we don't have to die anymore. Like that part is over. And so if you're in any of these disasters and you're there trying to save people and stuff, just make sure and keep seeing that in your mind. Keep seeing yourself like zipping around like a superhero, just like what they showed you in the movies. Because that's what the people become when they are able to like transcend the storyline. When you're able to get out of your mind, this 3D thing is going to hurt you, and you transcend that energy, then you do overcome it. You do override it. But it is all based on this programming. So it's challenging. And I would think some of the people who are there to go through that experience is part of their challenge too, is to remember, you know, that you are eternal. You're a warrior. You're not, you know, an insignificant NPC player in a game. So the so when I was seeing like this light is like the people, they have a certain light that's coming from them, and it is like the light is the same as the beings that are coming to take the people with them. So it's like a lot of beings of light will be at all of the different disasters. Some of the beings you would be able to see, and some you wouldn't, and some you would not. I mean, not everybody would see the light. It's like an aura. And it's like that aura comes on really bright when the disaster happens. It's like they're there for this. Oh, that's emotional, man. That's what they're there for. And so their light come on bright. But just, you know, work on that, you know, really getting into your mind that nothing can hurt you. And when anything is happening, just keep overriding it. You know, that's not going to hurt me. That's not going to hurt me. Nothing can hurt me. And because that's how you keep yourself going. And then, oh yeah, because it was like when I was replaying all this stuff from back when I was younger, and I was seeing this younger version of myself, and I was seeing how it was almost like it was terrorizing, honestly. It was that was what it was. It was making me feel sick. And it was because of the danger. Like when I was looking at this stuff, I was like, son of a bitch, man. Fuck. I was like, God damn, I can't believe how many situations and instances where it's just like horror movie looking at it. It's like if I was watching this in a movie, I would be terrorized. And it was putting myself in so many scary situations. And it's like, man, a lot of fucking older guys always want to hang around younger girls. And it's trippy because it's not just one thing, you know? Like, I know I looked older. You know, I mean, that threw a lot of people off because I was very tall. And then plus there's a whole thing about stress and cortisol. It makes you look older anyway. So I probably looked older. You know, I don't think, you know, that looking at me, well, at some points, I think I was like 13. Let's see, okay, 14. Because I'm looking back on like when sneaking out at night, hitchhiking all over the place, getting in cars and vans with people who I have no idea how many times I don't know, It's very creepy. But then the one guy who did grab me up off the street and molest me, wasn't like right in the neighborhood, right in the cul-de-sac. And then I told my mom she wanted to call the police, but my dad said no. And then my mom said years later, but all I got from it was never anybody was there protecting me. And then, so I don't know. It's like not learning how to protect myself. Not, I don't know how it all works because it's all a part of the experience, it's a part of the thing. And then it's kind of like, what do you do with it? Because a lot of people go so dark, but a lot of people also go so self-harm, like really hurt themselves. And oh yeah, because I wanted to say also, because when I had said about when I had the kids, now that grounded me more, I wanted to clarify that too, because I still did drugs after that. That was back in that period of time, like in that, what was that band called? Motley Crue. They had a documentary of Hollywood at that time. That I was in that, I was at those places. I was hanging out with these other musicians. And so I was in that lifestyle of being out. And but at the time, my ex-husband, he had gone through the court systems and stuff and got my kids where he had them every other week. So I only got them every other week. So the weeks when they were gone, I was out doing stuff. And and then he tried to use that against me because I guess I was supposed to just sit at home and cry because he was trying to wreck my life. But I was going out like with guys, and I had these guys that I hung out with, the bands and stuff, and it was a party back then too. And we'd do lines to stay up all night, so you could stay up drinking all night. And then even after the bars would close, there was like later hour bars. But then, what was that place people would go and eat after? It was this Jewish deli. It's been in the movies and stuff. But anyways, it was a whole thing. So I wasn't like some perfect angel after I had my kids. And so I didn't want that. But it changed that for me from that not caring about if I was going to live or die. Even though I did a lot of, I still had that a part of me, but it was more of, I was more controlled than it was. Like when I was younger, like I am not even kidding you. Like, and drugs were a big thing in the 70s. Mescaline, acid, uppers, downers. This is before the cocaine. And everybody's doing all these like pills, black mollies. And so all that kind of stuff. And it would always be, and I was always hanging around with all these kinds of people. And I swear to God, I would just take whatever. I really didn't care. I was not scared to die at all. And I was very wild when I like, ugh, I'm glad I didn't have to raise me. And but also, it would have been different. That's the thing, is when we grow up, then we try and do what we needed. We try and be what we needed at the time. And then we're not taking into account what our kids need. So we're trying to heal our own wounds through parenting. And it's not effective because we're just creating wounds in the other people because we're not giving them what they need. We're giving ourselves what we need through them. So that's why I say it's just these weird like lessons and stuff. Like I said, you can't do perfect. You can't be some perfect thing. We're all learning and trying to fix things. And it's like, I think it's just, it has such value to be able to just step back and look at humanity and how we are all linked and through our lessons and where we were and where we got to and how like all the ways that we learn and we it's like we evolve through our learning. And that is what, we're in the process of doing. So yeah, that's what, it is noticeable. Um, so, but you have to be taking notice. And it all depends on what you take notice of. And everybody's focused on their own stuff. That is what is a part of this whole awakening thing. And so it's getting all of our attention so that we are focused. It's going to be, I mean, right now they've got so much stuff coming to the surface, like, geez. And everything, like I said, like everything is linked underneath. So that all these things come up, but that is where it's going to be like they're going to pull all these things in. Because now, they've already got it going that, well, I've even heard Brock's the one who hired this guy for the second thing. But there's all these, because now they're saying, oh, Diddy's going to be fucking, what is that, singing like a canary. And then also this guy who was the Donald one at the golf course, which there's all this stuff like now. The only people that knew that he was going to be there was Lindsey Graham and somebody else and stuff. So see, and it's all, this stuff is going to play out, and these certain people can't control it because it's all this strategic way of this releasing stuff. And it's like certain people are taken down, like somebody was saying, like obviously there's links to the the gangsters and stuff with Diddy, because look what was going on in New York right before his. And they were, the FBI's in there with the mayor and stuff like that. But that's why I've been saying all these officials and stuff are shady as fuck, man. When you watch that show Deuce, it just shows like, God dang, there's so much shadiness. All these officials and stuff. And that is one thing that is showing in Denton County. So yesterday was the court date or the city council meeting. And so all these people went there for Gunner. Like people flew there. People drove hours to get there. It was a packed house. There was the videos I've seen that people said there were so many people they couldn't even get them all inside. There was tons of people outside. And so Gunner had all this support there. His family had all this support. And then they were on the register. They were on the thing to speak. And so the first 6 people spoke. And then as soon as they got to Gunner's folks, that they shut it down. All this is just going to keep continuing to show how shady this shit is. And now the one guy... This has got picked up by a bunch of animal activist kind of people and stuff. Is one guy, I think he was the same guy who was talking about the wolf situation in Wyoming, but she put the picture of the woman who made the call to Gunner, and it's like, fuck. Some of this, I think that's called like doxing or something. Like there's so much. Oh man, I don't know. And I guess then it's like, fuck, if somebody went and did something to her and you showed the picture, see the links through karmic stuff. That's why you gotta really not just be just doing all this stuff, but there's certain things that people are doing or things they were always going to do because it's a part of the whole thing. But just learn from these things that people do is like, oh yeah, shouldn't do that, but we're going to learn why we shouldn't do it. Like these things are going to keep playing out to show us why we shouldn't do it. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but I just know from like when it's inside your knowing, it's like from past lives. It's not like by accident that you know things. It's not just a freak thing that they know this and they don't know this. No, it has to do with your DNA, your lifespan, your soul's lifespan. It has to do with your information that you carry. And so anyways, so that's showing that. And then this there's lots of this. It's like another level has gone up on the rescue thing. It was once the shit would start going down with the kill shelters and all this craziness started going down, this mass murdering going on and all this. It's outrageous. I mean, You're taking healthy animals and just massacre. I mean, where is that okay? Because you need space. Don't you have money? Don't you have all these grants? How much does medicine cost to put them out? Like, you can't, like, there's so much stuff, like, it can just be done so much better. It's like, it's just, the people who have been running it don't put money where it should go. They just put it all, like, they're a bunch of fucking money hoarders, and they don't give a shit. They're slumlords. There's habitat slumlords. That's what they fucking are. Yeah, so, and they get off on it. They enjoy watching us squirm, watching us suffer. I mean, I'm sure they're totally enjoying this show. You got people crying all day long. Their whole lives are falling apart. So many people going homeless. People losing their cars. People who never thought they'd be sleeping in the streets. Like, everything is falling apart. Then the, let me think about what I was saying. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to this other thing. Because one of the things too I was seeing when I was looking at the thing is like Dickie, the first guy, my first love. That's what I've always looked at him as, is the first person that I ever loved, but it wasn't a healthy kind of love, because then when I'm getting past it and looking back, it's like, God, it's so weird, you know? Oh, he would be like, well, you know, do you like me? And I'd be like, oh, I can't tell you. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, like, you do bring in your same vibration. And so, I mean, and he was older than me too, a lot older. But he wasn't a lot more mature than me. Or, you know, maybe I was just super cool. I don't know. But whatever the case may be. Another Kelly stepped in, though, and she could. There was all sorts of girls stepping in. It was just like, I'll tell you every minute, you're so great. You're the perfect guy. I just love you. You're so good looking. You're so that. I was just not like that. And so, but there's lots of girls who were. And it was weird how it was another Kelly. And but that, you know, it was not like a short-lived thing. This was years of my life. And that is even why I took off and went to London. It was like, I've got to get out of this fucking cycle. Like, this is beating me down, man. I can't handle this. But I wasn't able to get myself past it. Like, I had no clue how to get past it. I didn't know, like, it just, I don't know. It was just, it's the thing in life that teaches, like, to show you. But at the time, like, I couldn't do anything. But then you get past it, and then you look back and you see, like, your stuff. That's like another thing. Like, how could I just sit there and blame it on him? Like, I had all sorts of issues. So, but the thing is with Dickie is that was the strongest. Oh my gosh, it was obsessive. I was like obsessed, and I mean, he was so cool. He was so cute. He was so cool, and you know, when I started liking him, it wasn't like all these other girls, but he was married. He was married, but he had just got married, and that marriage didn't last. But I mean, there was definitely a point in my life where I thought, I better just never get married, because I've got some bad karma on this shit. So, but anyways, you know, that's the things that you look back and you can see, but like, man, what the hell is wrong with me? And I was just, I don't know, some broken vessel going around in the world or something. And but I was madly in love with that guy, and there was no guy when I was, and this was something like, if people who knew me back then, like every single person I met, every single guy I compared to him, there was no, I was marrying people that I didn't feel anything like I felt for him. Like, he was the end all be all to me. He was like, and I wasn't supposed to, you know, be married and end up obsessed, at that point in my life. There was a lot more that happened in my life beyond that. And, but it had such an impact on me. And then I was trying to look at it, like, well, how was it? Because Paul was my first heartbreak. That was the first time where I ever felt real heartbreak. Like the thing with Dickie, it was like, I don't know, it wasn't the same kind of heartbreak. It was way more of like a very dysfunctional, we hung out together. I don't know, it was very dysfunctional. But I could see that I had something to do with it. Like I could see, but I couldn't get over my part. So I didn't ever look at like Dickie was just breaking my heart. But he was breaking my heart, but it was just on a different level. I wanted him to rescue me. Like I said, I was this damsel in distress. I wanted him to step up and, I love you. You're the greatest, like, and that, like at the time to me would have saved me. But, now I've gone older and I've gone through life and I saw and I can see, no, I would have been so toxic. I would have been very toxic. I was in a toxic relationship era for a long fucking time. And so, and those are all things that you had to play out. That to me is based something off of old karmic debt and stuff, where you're playing these other sides and stuff for people. And so there can be a lot of stuff that I was in that toxic relationship era for a long while. I would say, fuck, I would say 10, 20, I bet you, okay, so I bet you like 30 years. Because I kept being in relationships until I got divorced 2015. It was just like one relationship after another relationship after another relationship. And it was when that one, and it took him leaving me. Thank God. God, how long would I have been fucking saddled with that? Like, God, the abuse I put myself through. It's like, God damn, I had a lot to yield, but that's how many fucking years, it was years and years of bad relationships, letting people walk all over me and stuff. But when it was with Paul, that was the first experience where I'd never experienced heartbreak, where like the colors changed. Like it was like physically affected me. It was weird. I was so devastated. And I didn't know, I felt like I'm never going to get out of this. This is like, what the hell is wrong, man? It was horrible. I think it only lasted like a week or something. It was rough. I couldn't believe it. And we were together a year. And it was not some great relationship. I always felt like low self-esteem in it. And, I always felt like he was too good for me. He was better than me. And I always felt like I was lucky to be with him. And so then but it was all these different people. I was trying to think of it last night. When did I stop comparing guys to Dickie? Like, that was a long time. That everything, like I'm like I said, like I married people I didn't have as strong of feelings as that. Like right there. It's like, man, you should be holding out for, somebody who you feel this strong about. And it's weird when you have such strong feelings as somebody so early in your life and so much life goes on. Then it's like, wonder what it would be like to be around him now. Wonder how he turned out. What kind of person did he turn out to be? Like when your life goes on these two different paths. So, I don't know, it's trippy when you think about it. But to me, though, there's like these significant, impactful, like of all the relationships, like all the different faces that were in there was like a certain few that were very impactful. And they are impactful for different reasons, but definitely early on, out of guys that I didn't marry, Dickie and Paul and Punky. he was the drummer guy that I was hanging out with during this Motley Crue era. And I don't know what it was with him. There was just like it was like a kindness to him. There was like this down to earth side that I felt comfortable around. But then when you would get around all of the other thing, he would, a persona would come out. And he had a persona. And then he had his, he had some girl that he was with for a long time, but they had this weird relationship. I don't know, because he was always out. He always had girlfriends and stuff, and so I don't know. And I think they may have still be together. So whatever works for, whatever works. But I think they're still together. I think that's who he's together with. Like 25. I talked to him years later on MySpace. So whenever MySpace was a thing, he was on there, and I got to talk to him. And I got to tell him, like, you really impacted my life. And it's weird because when you say that to somebody, I don't think that they really understand what you're saying. But it was like, yeah, when I look back, I just have like good feelings like about him. Like, it wasn't like, I mean, we got fights and stuff, but it was, I don't know. It was like this trunk right here I've had for all this time. I got this trunk when I was with him. He was the one I went on that skiing thing with, and he was really good. I wasn't. And he took, so he's going down a black diamond, and I didn't even know all the stuff then. And I'm pretty sure he was trying to help me and show me and get me to go down. I was like, oh my God, it was horrible. I think I rode down on my butt, and he's like fucking professional skier. But on the, I don't know if it was on the way to the mountain or something. It was like a little antique store. He's like, oh, you want to go in here and go shop around? And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And we went in there and shopped around and found this trunk. And so I always think about, I got this trunk on this date with him. And I still like this trunk. So, and it still is the same with him. Like, and it's weird because like, there's no like big thing. Like, I mean, on every sense of the thing, he would have been the worst boyfriend that you can imagine. Like, but there was something, like, it was a soul thing. It was like, there was like a soul, a comfort or something. Like, I don't know. One thing is that, I do have an understanding of the people who come in and out of our lives, of these soul connections. And some of those soul connections, they give you like peace. Like, yeah, that was with him. Like, it just gave me like this peace. And he did matter to me. Like I really, because of that feeling, like I really wanted to have that feeling, that close feeling that I hadn't felt with other people. And I did want to have that, but it was not right. Like, that wasn't where I was meant to stop. It's not, my life wasn't meant to end at that point. There was lots more to go. There was lots more. And it just kept going and going and going. I had a lot of lessons in that, with relationships and self-love, looking outside of myself to look for something I needed to learn how to give myself. And it took all these different relationships and all these different people to come in and show me. And it just is so weird when it starts such a long time ago and you go through in this time of reflection and you look at these different, like, I can't even see all of them. Like, there's ones that have no significance whatsoever. It's probably like some karmic thing, because I do definitely think that there's some part of some of the stuff where it was people who, when that gypsy life where I was fucked a lot of people over, I think that I had some of that kind of what goes around comes around, because that is what goes around comes around. You can't get away from what you put out of balance. You, even in death, you can't die and get away from it. You still have to go and put it back into balance. So it's not like you can't get away from who you are, what you do, what you, uh, how you affect the planet, how you affect the universe is like, it's like a reverberation of you. It's like in you come back, like you can't get away from yourself. You can't, like, I don't know. There's just a sense of like people think that they can get away with stuff. And they get away with something, you know, like somebody saw me or whatever. It's like you can't get away with anything. And besides the fact, you've got a fucking audience all the time. All the time. Bet your ass, we've got an audience. Just like, now we're starting to see all these faces up in the skies and the clouds and so many spaceships being seen. There's so much. And they're all watching. They're all watching. You have all different, like, you have different realms and stuff. Like, even these ones back here who watch it, like, I don't know what their visual is. Like, I don't know if I just look like moving energy or something. Like, I don't know what I look like to some of them. And it probably is different depending on what their vibration is and what vibration they're in, because everything is like this honeycomb thing. And so it's all these different vibrations and stuff, and you have to match. That's why we're stuck with the firmament and stuff, and which to me is so absurd. Like, how can these people, like, they're obviously don't understand stuff about spirituality and stuff. Like, they're just trying to figure things out. Like, they don't understand how the you can't go past like your frequency. Like, this is the firmament is like, it's all by frequency, and they think that they can bust through it. So, and they're supposed to be, oh yeah, that was last night. So yeah, I don't know, because there was a word on the street that CERN was cranking it up last night when the moon went full. And was it an eclipse too, a lunar eclipse or something? Because there was people, I saw footage of that, and the moon was lighting up like it was mental, and people were noticing all these different things. People are noticing all these things that are waking them up. All sorts of things in the sky, all sorts of things. Oh yeah, that girl that I didn't finish talking about. It's horrific, man. So her videos, so there wasn't very many. Now she's got like a block of them. I don't know, 6, 7, 8 videos of this hospital situation. I can share one if somebody wants to see. It's horrible. And it's to the point, even like, fuck, it's like you can't even see her face in this face. And it's weird because it's almost like it looks like even her hairline has moved. But it's like, so it'd be like, okay, if I was just sitting here talking like this, and then the next time you saw me, it looked like my hairline was back to here. From here down to here is completely black. The no hair, just black. Like, her skin is so, it is swollen. Her face is swelling. She's got all of this, oh man, I don't even know. Well, I don't even know what to call this stuff. I've never seen anything like it. Like, if this was my patient and I was a nurse, I'd be freaking the fuck out. Like, I would be like, what in the hell? And in the way that she's being treated, and she's at, I think, UCI LA. I feel like, fuck, a group of people need to go down there and get her out of here. Like, man, it's getting, like, and I feel like she's just all of a sudden going to disappear. Like, we're not going to see any, like, because I'm pretty certain they're just killing her. That, so apparently she went in, this is the storyline that is going around from a whole bunch of different sources. So, I don't know, because sometimes these things catch fire and everybody starts repeating this false information. So I can't sit there and say, like, this is for sure. But from the word on the street is that she had a headache or a backache or something, a neck ache, there was something. And so she went to the doctor, and I don't know how it ends up that she's at the hospital. Somehow, like if the doctor had said go to the hospital for this treatment or something, but for some reason, they told her that she had to have 3 of these things in order to be treated. They couldn't treat her without these 3 things. So she agreed to take these things. And now she's got the most horrific thing happening. And it's like she's morphing into a monster or something. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then she was, at first she was talking, and she was recording, and she was talking, and she was saying, it just hurts. She's in horrible pain. Her eyes had swollen so much she could barely even see like a tiny little slit, and her eyes are like puffed out, like fucking huge, and everything is discolored. Oh my God, it's horrible looking. And I don't even understand, like, how is their head stretching out and like it's horrible looking. And it's all down her neck, it's all down her chest, it's down her arms, it's down her back. And I don't understand how, like, she's not in, like, this is so weird. But this is the kind of stuff, like, I know, I mean, like, I went through this, what she's going through, like, the stuff she was saying. She's like, I keep telling them I need a CT. I keep telling them I need medicine. I need the doctor and stuff. That's what I was doing. And they wouldn't do shit. Yeah, that was it was day 4 is when the surgeon came in. And in the report in court, they said that, oh no, the doctor, the anesthesiologist, everybody was there every morning. I was doing great. I was sitting up, just talking, having a good old time. It was like, oh, it was fucking, it just is aggravating. The way they lie. And then watching this is disgusting, because she's saying the same things and they're not doing shit. Nobody's helping her. And they're telling her that she's not even allowed to film. And so as the days have gone on, and then I think this is like day 4, and she was to the point where she wasn't even being able to talk. And see, that's where I was too. I was moaning. And I didn't look like that. Mine was, my brain was herniating. So my brain, all of my brain, it had lost all the fluid. So it was crushing. So it was crushing and it was pulling back. So it, like how your brain is like that, and it's all full of fluid and stuff. So then the fluid went out and it crushed down, and then it started sucking down into, because it's a closed system of, what is that? It's a closed, whatever, I'm too tired. It's a vacuum enclosed system. So it started pulling my brain down, because it didn't have the fluid to fill it. So whatever's going on with her, I don't even know. It is, so she said, so now on the videos that she was talking, she was like, and then this guy goes and gets in front of her and says something, and they're saying like she's not gonna be recording for a while, and she was trying to get to let her go to another hospital. They wouldn't let her go to another hospital. They wouldn't let her do anything. So I don't know. But she has a lot of people's attention, just like Gunner had a lot of people's attention. This girl's got a lot of people's attention, and it's quite clear. I've been saying it for a while. You go to the hospital and plan on getting out. And then you gotta think about like what these the fucking murderers out there, man. And they aren't just all out on the streets. These people, it's weird. So like, over on the rescue thing, so this girl was just doing this video, because this whole rescue thing is like, there's a whole wave happening, and so there's a lot of people who are starting to see. And the one thing, because I had pointed this out to one of the rescue people when I was talking to him early on, because they're trying to convince me, they're doing such a good job. And I said, how is it, you're going and taking these dogs, you're rescuing them from one prison and taking them to another where they're on a death sentence. So, it's like some of them hadn't thought of that. They just think they're rescuing them and getting them treatment, but it's not happening. They're not getting treatment. They're getting murdered. They're getting caged. They've got some places where these dogs have been in cages for fucking a couple years. And it's like, and then people adopt them, and it's like, these dogs don't know how to behave. So it's just, like even with Max, like he's got some fucking issues. Like he jumps up and he's got these long ass legs. And so he jumps up. And when Stella was little, I taught her not to jump up. So I'm trying to teach him when he's already got this habit adapted. And then another one too is this living this street life thing. He gets into this idea of starvation. Like he's very triggered by food. Yesterday when we were out walking, there was a bunch of leaves on the ground because it's fall. And then, so they're sniffing around, sniffing around. I was just watching, and he got really reactive, and he started growling like he was going to fucking take her on over a leaf. So I look at him, I was like, oh, it's a piece of bread. So he grabs a fucking piece of bread up, and he's trotting down the street. He's like not letting go. I'm lecturing him the whole way. Dude, you've got food at home. You're not a street dog anymore. You're not starving. You don't need that. And at one point, we were almost telling me, finally, he dropped it. And I drug him real quick away. And he was going crazy. Like, yeah, I've got to get that food. But even at feeding time, he goes crazy. It's like, I think, I don't know how long he had to go at periods of time. I don't know how long he lived on the streets. I don't know how long he had to go with no food, like any of that stuff. But all of these things have an effect on these dogs, we got to do different. We got to do better, man. But so this lady, so I just saw the video, she said that the shady shit, and this is one of the things that I've said, there's shady shit going on with this rescuing thing. So on this one, this is, I don't know, somehow this girl, so they get all these puppies, these were Yorkies or something, so ones that would make money, so they get dumped or whatever at these places. So there's certain people who, I said, as soon as people see like a hole, it's like, go in and use it to your best interest, use it for you, use it so you can make money and stuff. So whatever it was, to see this, I'm going to grab these dogs up and go to my rescue, and I'm going to create my own transport business. And so I'm going and getting these dogs and taking them. But the thing is they take dogs that have value. And so then they try and sell them for these rescue fees. And rescue fees are expensive. And it's supposed to be because the rescuers have all these vets. The whole thing is just, it's full of bullshit. It's full of a bunch of shit. So that's why everything is going wrong, because there's a whole bunch of moldy wood in the foundation. And all the moldy wood is going to be really being shown. And so whatever, with this girl, she had gone and gotten all these puppies. I don't know, she like 8 puppies, and she's transporting all these dogs and stuff. And then some of the puppies started dying, and they went and did an adoption day, didn't do anything to get the dogs treated or anything. Then more of the puppies died. It ends up they had parvo. They were adopting dogs out. Like, it's all about, making this money. And that's why I said they're taking people's dogs, expensive dogs. Like there's like this subculture in the rescue of shady shit. And it kind of feels like a lot of the shady shit that originated with dog breeding and backyard breeders and stuff like that comes from the breeding of the show dogs and stuff. Like, because there was so much immoral practice in that whole realm of dog show dogs and the championship breeding kind of thing. And so the backyard breeder is just an extension. It's just like how dark things can get. But it stems back. The nucleus, I believe, comes from this show dog era, which is still continuing. I had just seen something the other day of a dog show going on, and it just like really hit me, like all these things coming together and seeing. So all of, and all of the things are all like all these extensions, like people see like, well, I could do that, I can make money off that. And then all these people going so into the dark. But see, everybody gets to go through these replays, just like how I've been replaying, my weaknesses and stuff. But I'll tell you what definitely could see when I was seeing some of this stuff where I would see me in a car with these like strangers, like a bunch of strange men or something, hitchhiking. And, but when I see me in all these situations, I'm encased in light and everything around me is dark. That's what it says. It's very eerie. It's very creepy. And they all have like, I don't know why this one keeps giving me such a creepy feeling. This guy, Augie. And it's like it was like I don't know. It's very creepy. Uh, some guys are just so like, oh my gosh, you're just constantly, no, stop it, no, stop it. And but anyways, that's what I was saying is like I can see the light around and like you're protected. And that's where I was like, okay, so these people who are there in these certain situations that are there to help people and rescue people, and they have this same thing. You will have this light around you, this protective barrier. So you're going to be protected. But don't get that, keep that in your mind. Keep it in the forefront of your mind. Don't get sinking back into, feeling like that you don't matter. Keep remembering you're protected. You're doing God's work. You're doing the Lord's work. Getting out there saving people and helping people. Because this is, these are the huge traumas that's the come to Jesus moments. This is a big shakeup. It's everything is going to, flip the other direction. And like, I don't know, we just know California's got something coming, but this whole West Coast, this whole part over here, but it's not even just here. I mean, like Missouri, everybody's like on pins and needles over by St. Louis and stuff, like with the earthquake, and then there keeps being all these different earthquakes. There was some in Texas. So there's just all sorts of things happening. And, wherever we are is where we're supposed to be. When you're not supposed to be there, something opens up. There's a thing opens. And that's where you got to find this own balance of where you're forcing things and where you're just letting things happen the way they're meant to happen in natural order. And when you start feeling desperate and trying to force things, and then when you are feeling that desperate, you want to force things, that is your challenge to be able to sit with the information and be able to calm yourself and relax yourself and remind yourself that you're right where you're supposed to be. Everything is fine. Nothing can hurt you. And it's just like this spiritual mind play, pulling free from, it's two totally different mindsets. And that is the whole awakening thing, is pulling free from this controlled reality, and pulling into who you truly are, and understanding more about who you are and what you're doing here and what's going on and why we're here, what we're doing, and all that stuff. So, and the main thing that we're doing is learning how to love ourselves. Believe you me, and love everyone else, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.